Welcome to another That's What They Said podcast where we question the questionable lyrics of your favorite songs. Sarina Morales and Scott Spinelli, joined by a very special guest, a sports commentator by day on the Dan Le Batard Show, and he co-hosts his own podcast, Cinephobe, by night or like maybe mid-afternoon. I don't actually control your schedule, but he is my friend, Amin Al-Hassan.
Good.
Hi.
That's really good. It does vary. Usually
it's a midday, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. He's joining us because today we are talking one of Amin's favorite songs, or at least we did sing this song during karaoke, Blame It on the Boogie by the Jackson 5. So Amin, if my memory serves me, we sang this song on my birthday at a small karaoke bar in downtown Manhattan years ago. But what is your relationship to this song?
Well, I mean, this is just like one of a zillion Michael Jackson songs that happened like 70s, 80s. This is like him growing up, him getting out of the Jackson 5, but this is pre-Thriller. This is pre him becoming the king of pop. His music is still very R&B during this era, and there's a lot of songs that came out in that time that I really, really like, and this is one of them.
This really is. I mean, it's just the concept of blaming things on the boogie just really, I'd love to know if anybody ever used that to get out of a real jam. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm sorry, I wish I could, but you know whose fault it is.
Yeah. No, it's not the sunshine's fault, I'll tell you that much.
Or the moonlight. We're going to get to that in just a second.
It's clearly DeMarcus Cousins' fault. That's whose fault it is.
or Zach Harper's dog, whichever.
Blame it on Boogie.
Yeah.
Dog's name is Boogie. Scott, you usually throw a Denver Nug at this point. I don't know if you
I have one.
I have one.
Yeah, this one's wild. I mean, did you look into this about where
there's two people, there's multiple Michael Jacksons writing the song. I mean, I don't know if you knew this.
I did not know this.
Oh, well,
so
great.
Do you want to take it or do you want me to take it?
Serve it up. Serve it up.
Okay, we'll call this one a Jeff Green as far as a Denver Nug. So the interesting thing about this song is that it was originally written by another guy named Michael Jackson who went by Mick Jackson.
No way.
Yeah, and his band, which was him and his brother, were called Jacko, and they wrote the song first. And the way this English dude tells the story is that I think it was Joe Jackson overheard it, and they kind of like stole it. You know what I mean? Like, basically made it their own. It's the same thing. It was written and produced at the same time. Theirs is more of like almost like a it's still funky, but it's not nearly as it's a slightly different tune. However,
slower.
In Destiny, in the album that it came out on, the Jackson 5 wrote all songs were written and produced by the Jacksons, which was technically correct.
So they got around it with a loophole, a legal loophole. Unfortunately, the way credit works, it's not just saying, "Hey, he helped." It's also,
exactly
a little squadoosh in there. But did you guys see either of you guys see the Weird Al Yankovic movie?
I did.
The biopic. Okay,
Jewish,
so
that makes...
spoiler alert.
Hold on. He's not Jewish, Weird Al.
He's not Jewish. Yeah, he's Polish. He's Polish. Yeah.
Damn it.
Unbelievable.
No, he's not Polish. He's I think he's Serbian. Like his grandfather came from Serbia.
Even
or something
worse.
like that.
I mean, let's just.
But like the great thing about it, it's very much a parody of a biopic. They have fun with a lot of stuff, but one of the things in there, Weird Al at some point says, "I'm sick of making parody music. I'm gonna make my own original song against the wishes of the label or whatever." And he like thinks hard and he comes up with this song, and the song is called "Eat It." And then like a month later, Michael Jackson comes out with "Beat It." He's doing a parody of me, you know?
Yeah.
So this is very similar to that. Like the idea that like Michael Jackson ripped off some other guy.
That's the greatest part of that movie, where he is genuinely pissed off that Michael Jackson has ripped him off in that movie. It's actually, I could see how people might think that Weird Al's kind of corny and whatever, but like I love it. I mean, I get how like, but the movie is really funny and it's on Roku, so it's free. I mean, I would highly recommend.
I guess I'm the outsider here that hasn't seen the Weird. I've seen his videos. I've heard the songs. Whatever. That
His
doesn't do
videos.
anything. I'm blaming it on the boogie, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
All right. So we'll just touch quickly on the Billboard information, and then we'll go to the lyrics. But I'm always fascinated. I mean, like when we go through the Billboard charts, because in other countries somehow like American songs do way better than American songs do here. So Blame It on the Boogie by the Jackson 5 they sang the song too. Hit the US Billboard 100 at 54. It peaked at 54.
It peaked at 54.
Yeah, which I mean, it's a little. You thought
By
it was lower?
By the way, I just want to comment here. I mean, it's interesting that you had that same reaction because every episode we do, we have the exact same reaction that you had. Every time, where it's like, that's it. Every number, no number do we go, huh? Yeah, that had about track. We know what we're so off every
54,
time.
though. Like what were the 53 songs that they thought was better than Blame It on the Boogie?
Right.
What were they? Do you have that in front of you?
We should have all the songs from 1978 that came out.
I'll Blame It on the Boogie. This isn't live. We can do this.
Yeah, that's fine.
Boogie, 1978.
While he looks that up, Mick Jackson, the other Michael Jackson version, it peaked on the US Hot 100 at 61. So people were listening to both songs almost very similarly. I'm like, what just pick one. I don't understand that. It wasn't even a remix. It was just the same song done by two different artists.
Yeah, and it pretty much sounds the same too. Did you listen to it?
Yeah. I watched
it basically sounds the same. Yeah.
I was like, oh. But in the Netherlands, top 100, number 6 for Blame It on the Boogie Jackson 5. So, I mean, even Ireland, I don't get it.
Here we go.
Okay, let's
Here we go.
This.
Got the
Billboard Top 100 of 1978. Let me make sure.
Stop me when you hear a song you've heard of. Number 3, Foxy with Get Off. 53, excuse me. Foxy with Get Off. Number 52, I Will Be in Love with You, Livingston Taylor. Number 51, Everyone's a Winner by Hot Chocolate. Number 50, Here Comes the Night by Nick Gilder. Number 49, by Best Friend's Girl by The Cars. Number 48, Forever Autumn by Justin Hayward. Number 47, Can You Fool by Glenn Campbell. Number 46, Fun Time by Joe Cocker. Number 45, Bicycle Race / Fat Bottom Girls by Queen.
Okay.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah, that's 45.
Wow, and that didn't even go. Wow.
Let me just scroll up here and go all the way to see what they thought the top 10 were. 10, You've Never Done It Like That, Captain and Tennille. 9, Time Passages, Al Stewart. 8, I Love the Nightlife. I Love the Boogie. Alicia Bridges.
That's a good one.
Number 7, I Just Want to Stop, Gino Vanelli. Number 6, Le Freak, Chic.
Okay.
Number 5,
we were in that time.
You Needed Me by Anne Murray, which is this is it dropping from number 4. Number 4, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, Barbra Streisand and Neil Diamond. Number 3, How Much I Feel, Ambrosia. Number 2, Double Vision by Foreigner. Number 1, it's 12th week on the chart, MacArthur Park by Donna Summer. There's a whole lot of crap in the middle of this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who do we blame that on? Can't blame
YMCA Village People, number 17.
It could have been moved around. We have a hard time understanding the billboards.
Some of these songs, like, okay, all right, some of these Hold the Line by Toto, My Life by Billy Joel. Like, some of these have clearly stood the test of time, and some of them are just.
They did not.
I mean, like, come on, man. Everybody Needs Love by Stephen Bishop.
It is amazing to me how often that happens. I was actually having this discussion this is like a little bit of a left-hand turn here, but as you're an NBA guy and you're an NBA gal, a buddy of mine was criticizing how like some team doesn't get drafting right. And I was like, maybe we just need to be okay with the fact that like more often than not, most teams are hitting at like a 65% clip at best in the top 5. That's probably too kind, right? Like,
yeah.
And if you look in, like, I was doing this today, I was looking at like the top 4 picks from the last 10 years, and it was like one of them stinks. In like within a year, he stinks, and 2 of them are bare. The other one, there's usually at least one who's not even close to an all-star. Yeah. And so I guess it's kind of like this. It's like it's weird to me. Maybe at the time we just don't know what we should know about these guys. You know what I mean? Like that we don't know.
Okay.
Like Blame It on the Boogie. it's weird that we didn't know that, like, that's a top. How is that outside of the top 50? That's crazy.
Yeah.
For songs that, again, that did not stand the test of time.
Right. This one did.
By artists, but that's the other thing that's, I think, a little bit weird to me. One would think that, like, you get a bump. Like, at this point, it's not like this isn't the first or second single. It's the goddamn Jacksons, man.
Yeah.
What they do is make hits. Like, they're getting less spins and less play and I guess less sales than somebody named, where is it? Livingston Taylor?
Livingston.
LT, great.
Yeah.
He or they or she were great.
Right,
yeah.
we're not sure. It's questionable.
Kenny, the other side of this, by the way, because Kenny Rogers, the Gambler, 57.
Wow.
Rick James, Mary Jane, 58.
They just were dogging people in 1978.
I know. You guys didn't know music. That's what I'm hearing here from the
this
people in the back.
podcast is just
At 67, this one's gonna blow your mind. Now, mind you, it was only 2 weeks on the charts at this point versus 4 for the Jacksons.
okay.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, September.
No way.
Oh,
No way.
67. 67.
Someone needs to be fired from the past.
Yes. Or either that or this is all racism, right? Like,
More than
I
that.
was
I'm covering here is that, like,
I was gonna say, as the lone white person on the panel here, I was gonna suggest that because it does seem like an easy out, but it also makes sense too. I mean, it also
but Kenny Rogers, the Gambler, also similarly struggled. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, they had to throw one in to like confuse us.
to disguise it. Yeah, there you go. So it's not too obvious.
To throw Kenny Rogers in. Yeah. All right, to our lyrics. I'll just start with the first thing we hear out of Michael Jackson's voice is the ee. I believe this is like one of the first times we actually hear Michael Jackson do the squeal.
Really?
I've read that in a few places, and I thought, like, I don't know, like where does he come up with that? Because at this point, there's still the Jackson 5. You know, he's at some point he's gonna. But at what point, like, did a brother scare him? And he was like, "Oh, use that." The dad was like, "Put that in the song."
So I've listened to like Billie Jean, how it was made, and he sings all the background vocals on Billie Jean. So like he sings the main vocal and then he sings the background and a different background and different ad libs, and every voice you hear, even when it harmonizes, you might think like, oh, he had a bunch of, it was all him. So he was, even though he wasn't like classically trained, like writing music or whatever, he had a very musical ear. So things like that, I would imagine
he's just been
it just hit him like, oh, it would sound great. I think one of the coolest things I've watched is like those little documentaries that show Michael Jackson behind the scenes, either working on a song or working on tour or whatever. And he's so detail oriented. He has such a vision for what he wants it to sound like and be like, that I wouldn't be surprised that that's just something that it needs something. It needs like a and then it just works.
I would love a version of Get Back for the artists I loved and grew up with, right? Like, you know, I would like an 8-hour documentary of just like what it was like to record No Way Out. You know what I mean?
We don't need that because we didn't need Get Back either. It was like 40 hours of them just sitting around. Yay, does anyone want lunch? Nah, I'm good. And then that's it. And then Yoko Ono just sitting there like a creep the whole time. I was like, this is awful. There was probably like a strong 20 minutes. I was like, that was cool.
Yeah.
I can't remember what song it was, but it was like one of their like iconic songs. Like, what if we did it like this? Like, oh shit, you see them actually come up with it. But the vast majority of it was just incredibly boring.
It's true. I mean, when you see some of that stuff, like in the Kanye documentary, when they talk, like some of the stuff where they're like just sampling over and over again, it's pretty mind-numbing stuff of just like,
we got the point, Kanye.
Like you know, and like I don't need to be there for the part where he decides the record is like a little bit better if we include this little bit. It's like, okay, got it. You know,
it's like when you watch a movie, we don't really need to watch the main character take a leak, you know, like,
oh yeah,
wash his hands, you know, dry the, like, unless it's pivotal to the plot.
We know
we
he's
just
clean.
kind of assume they're like Liam Neeson. Yeah, we just know that Liam Neeson is handling his business. Like he's not, he's going to the bathroom, he's washing his hands, It's okay, mom.
And then he murders whoever,
Yeah.
I always thought
then he
that
commits mass murder.
Yeah.
I always thought that'd be funny if 24, the show, was real. If it was like a real 24 hours. There was like full episodes. There's like, are we going to tune in this week? It's like, no, he's sleeping for the next 6 weeks. It's just
He's
6 weeks. Yeah,
tired.
just
and it's
that
like, is he
little
going to wake up?
Yeah.
He doesn't wake up. It's just these next 6 weeks he's asleep.
He rolls over and makes a snorting noise.
On the next 24 hours. All right. So my baby's always dancing, and it wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't get no loving, and that's no lie.
I mean, look, man, who amongst us hasn't been involved with someone who loves to dance, and God bless her or him? Like, you know what? Thanks. You know, I love that you have this passion about you, but I'm kind of horny, and all this dancing has got me in the mood. Come on, just a little bit. And I like how he said that that's no lie, because
like no one's gonna believe him.
No, exactly. He said my baby's always dancing. That wouldn't be a bad thing, but I don't get no loving. So man, shut up, man. Stop your lying. That ain't no lie. He's clarifying for the peanut gallery that does not believe him.
I mean, I get the feeling that this woman is just likes to party and is perhaps using our friends, and it's hard to feel bad for them, though. It's hard. I don't think that he even feels bad, because the song is so upbeat that it's just like, yeah, it's all good.
He does. What are you talking about? Well, no, actually, he doesn't feel bad, because
he doesn't even care.
No, he does care, but he also, this is like when, this is like me, my philosophy about like when the internet comes for you and everyone's like, you just got to accept it, man. Like, you can't fight this. You can't fight this tidal wave. You just gotta go limp and let it wash over you, right? Same thing here. He's like, right, like he's like, she's dancing. Oh, we're not really knocking the boots anymore. We spent the night in Frisco, every kind of disco. But I knew. He's like, I knew then. I gotta kiss this love goodbye. And is he mad? Is he angry? Is he like irate? He's like, no, I can't blame it on the sunshine. I can't blame it on the moonlight. I can't even blame it on the good times. That goddamn Boogie, man.
Did you have anything on that?
I thought it was pretty fast to that point about the Frisco thing, about how quickly he went from, I get no loving, to like, well, from that night I kissed our love goodbye. So it's just like chucked up to Chris Brown, and he's out. Like, it's over. He's moved on.
He tried. He tried. He took it to every single disco in Frisco. Not Frisco, Texas, San Francisco, which I learned that people from San Francisco and the Bay Area don't like.
They don't. Yeah, Jamie Sire used to hate that when I'd say it on Sports Center.
Which is why we do it even more. That reinvigorated me.
What is the equivalent of that in other cities? I was trying to think of that, because I've heard that before. Like, I'm from the New York area. I don't think I'd get offended if someone called it NYC,
Oh no, it's not that, but like the Big Apple, right? Like, you don't get offended, but like nobody, like their thing is nobody calls it Frisco. I'm like, but we do. Same thing, like nobody calls it like the Big Apple. Going back to the Big Apple, no one says that.
That's fair. That might be a good.
The difference is we don't care. Oh, I'll tell you what. No, the equivalent is this: if in Miami, if something is happening in Miami Beach, people say, "Oh, I'm going to Miami," they get upset. Like, no, that's a different city.
Miami Beach is a different place. I didn't know that. I don't think I did.
It has its own mayor and everything, and own police department. Yeah, and they get very upset when people say. So, like when LeBron said, "I'm taking my talents to South Beach," but the arena's in Miami. Like there was a lot of people locally. Like, the arena's in Miami. He's not going to South Beach,
You know what's a good little stupid bit to do? Just when you're telling people you're going to a city, use the wrong nickname on purpose. Like, say, like, I'm gonna go visit. You know how New York is, the Emerald City. And then just think that always gets a weird chuckle out of people. I always find that to be a stupid joke that works.
Yeah, I'm going to LA, the Windy City.
As they always say,
Seattle, the Sunshine State.
Exactly.
No, wait, I'll tell you one thing. If you want to drive people crazy, call Chicago the best little town, or whatever they call Reno. Use the Reno shit for Chicago.
Yeah.
Well, we're just as big as Los Angeles and New York. I don't know why. They are so sensitive about being a little podunk flyover town.
Like what?
Fuck Chicago.
Wyoming is like the city that never sleeps. Okay.
Yeah.
Has
Cheyenne.
anyone actually blamed their problems on any of these things? Like, was this even an option prior to this
Yeah.
song?
Oh, come on, Serena. Your first love is baseball. How many times have you seen a guy and his pop fly?
Blame it on
Blame it on
sunshine.
the sun. Oh,
Sunshine, man.
Yes.
okay. All right. Well,
And also, when you were a kid and you had to come in,
the
you know, 'cause it was
moonlight.
too early, you blame it on the moonlight.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever blamed something on Good Times.
I have.
That's something. Maybe you blame it on the show.
Why did you call? Oh yeah, that'd be good. No, I was thinking more like, why haven't you called me? You've been out all night. I was like, blame it on the Good Times, man. I wasn't really thinking about checking in with people. But blame it on Good Times is also. I think. I don't know if you guys know what Jimmy Walker's life has become. Who played JJ on Good Times? He's like a super right wing Republican.
Oh, really?
And so, yeah, like crazy. But you know what? You could blame that one on Good Times.
You could literally blame it on Good Times.
We wouldn't know who you were if it wasn't for that goddamn show.
Man. All right, the nasty boogie bugs me, but somehow it has drugged me. Spellbound rhythm gets me on my feet. So then
he's saying that basically, even he knows this boogie has stolen his woman from him. Even he is not immune to it. He's like, I guess I can dance a little bit.
I mean, but I've changed my life completely. I'm like, what did you do that you changed your life?
Doesn't seem like he did anything. Yeah, it doesn't seem like
kept dancing.
Well, this is the weird part because it circles, right? It's like I changed my life completely. I seen the lightning leave me. And my baby just can't take her eyes off of me. Is she back? Does this mean she's back in?
Confused. Correct. This song was originally written for Stevie Wonder, which, if you thought about that, just a cute little nugget.
I mean, I'm assuming she can't take her eyes off of me. I'm taking everybody else's word for it. Oh, dude, she can't take her eyes off of you. Stevie, you still got it.
I would also say Stevie probably is not in the habit of blaming things on sunshine or moonlight either, but you know.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't sing this song. Do you know me?
Half of this song doesn't apply to me.
If there was anyone in the world who could not blame anything on sunshine or moonlight, would it be Stevie Wonder?
Yeah.
That's so wild. I never even put that together.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
But yeah, I felt like his life completely changed. Like, how does someone I just need to keep dancing now. I'm going to enter dance contests. My apartment is empty.
He's met her halfway. He's like, you know what? We don't need to have sex. I mean, just dance now because maybe this is a great love story, but now that he is like let go of his dogma and kind of like try to see things from her perspective, now she's like, she's
coming back
in love.
It also kind of jives with all of his music videos where like he tries to act tough, some version of masculinity that it's not apparent he understands, and he plays it out with dances, right? Like it's always like, you want to fight? Maybe we dance fight. You know what I mean? Like in this case, like you want to, like sleep together? Maybe we dance. Like everything is always not quite, he's like close. It's like he read about toxic masculinity in a book and then just decided to do something that's like adjacent to it, if that makes sense.
Toxic masculinity, but interpretive dance.
Exactly.
I'm gonna grab my spot, but then I'm gonna go.
My favorite is the video for "You Rock My World," where it's like a whole movie, right? Where he goes into the like that Marlon Brando type setup with the mobsters, and he's trying to win that girl back, and Chris Tucker's running around, and that whole thing where like he's gonna win her back with a dance off, which again is almost all of his videos, but that is he must have thought like, no, we're keeping this in. This will resonate. People will know that.
It did though. Yeah, it did. It worked.
It's true. It's true.
The next part of the song is him just saying he can't control his feet.
That's right.
Yes. Imagine someone's like,
yeah, it could be a cry for help. It could be a cry for help, and we're all dancing. Like, yeah, Mike, neither can we.
No, seriously, these things won't stop moving.
To that point in the music video, that was my favorite part of the music video, where they like literally because they did those trail effects with things, and it first of all looks ridiculous even at the
Gives
time.
me a
I feel like.
headache.
But like they took that literally when he said, "I just can't control my feet," and then his feet are waving all over the place. It's like, all right, we get it, we get what's going on here. You don't have to be that nail on the head.
The music video, it felt like someone had a little too much fun with the new editing tool.
Oh,
Like they
that's
just went off.
Let me tell you something. What's that? Was it Don't Stop Till You Get Enough?
Oh yeah.
That to me is just like, hey guys, check this out. Just downloaded this new TikTok effect, right? Like, oh, hold on. I gotta do this everywhere.
Like the entire music video is just the slow, like we see the rest of the body behind. I don't even know how to.
And then it's like 8 versions of him all dancing in unison.
Oh
like, oh, how do they do it? Did they clone him? Like, I like the idea of people having their minds blown by it at the time.
Yeah,
I think it was Nick Swartzen who did a really good bit about how, like, if you showed Transformers, any of the Transformers movies, to people in like 1930, people's heads would literally explode just on any of those movies. And meanwhile, people will leave the theater like, this movie sucks. It's not even realistic.
The first movie ever was like the Great Train Escape or whatever. And
sure.
There's a scene where the train is, or the Great Train Robbery, whatever it was, but the train is coming towards the screen. And they said, like, at the first screenings, people were like, ah! They like
freaking out.
Because they thought a train was coming at them. It blew their minds. This concept.
Well, and then they just did this to us way too many times in this music video. I mean, did you have any final lyrics that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, this magic music grooves me. The dirty rhythm fools me. The devil's gotten to me through this dance. I'm full of funky fever. A fire burns inside me. Boogie's got me in a super trance. He is now completely giving himself to the dark side.
Yeah.
This is him kneeling before Palpatine and says, yes, my master, right? And from here on, you'll be Lord Vader, right? Like that's what happens right there.
Blame it on the devil.
Yep.
Sign that away.
He didn't even blame it on. He just said the devil like got in, but it's still the Boogie's fault. It's still the Boogie's fault.
It's still the Boogie.
And my favorite part of this song is the sunshine, moonlight, good times, Boogie, and then can't stop that. And he just, when he's singing and the background vocals are going, oh man, I love that.
It's the best part of the song where they're like, all right, we won't even say what we're blaming. We'll just say words. Sunshine.
I don't know about you guys. I love doing this when a song is playing, when I just say the last word of every lyric. Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
This is the door.
Now we know. Scott, you got any final lyrics you want to touch on?
No, I think we hit it all. I have nothing left to blame.
Blame it on the Boogie forever.
Blame it on. Wait, there's a lyric at the end that says "blame it on yourself." Wait a second.
What?
What the hell, Michael Jackson? We just spent this whole song blame it on the Boogie, and at the end you blame it on blame it on yourself.
Maybe that's like a funk flex thing. Like, who you mad at, me or yourself? That's. Yeah.
Who didn't make a number one song either? Like, what the hell is wrong? All right, well, blame it on the Boogie once again. That wraps up another episode of That's What They Said. Thanks, Amin, for hanging out with us. I will always blame Boogie instead of you moving forward.
Thank you. Or blame it on yourself, either or.
Blame it on yourself.